My parents pleaded with me, don't go to Hawaii. The house payment is overdue. So I sent them $8,700. A week later, my uncle revealed that my sister had covertly tagged everyone at a beach resort, excluding me, with a caption that read, "Trip without the failure." Furious, I silently did the one thing they dreaded most. I genuinely trusted them. When my mom called, nearly frantic, claiming the mortgage was 2 months behind and the bank was preparing legal action, I didn't doubt her. She said they were sinking, that Dad's work hours had been cut, and that Lily was struggling emotionally. She described nightly tears, the fear of losing their home. It felt urgent, believable, and I fell for it. I was drained, just back from a 12-hour shift, shoes still on, staring at takeout I couldn't really afford. Mom insisted they needed exactly $8,700 to halt foreclosure and keep the utilities running. I double-checked, asking if this was truly the purpose. She swore it was, calling it a matter of survival. Dad even chimed in briefly, saying, "Thanks, sweetheart, you're our lifeline." I transferred the money the next day. It was every cent I'd saved. My Hawaii fund, scraped together over 2 years for a solo trip to Oahu, my escape from endless responsibilities. I'd even bought a new suitcase, but I told myself family comes first. There'd be other trips. I resumed my grind, work, sleep, repeat. They never mentioned the money again, not even a thank you. I assumed they were just overwhelmed. 6 days later, while folding laundry, I got a text from Uncle Steve, the only family member I halfway trust. It read, "You probably haven't seen this. You need to." Attached was a screenshot from Lily's private Facebook album, one I wasn't tagged in. It showed photo after photo of them, Mom, Dad, Lily, her boyfriend, at a luxurious beach resort with infinity pools and private cabanas. They wore leis, sipped tropical cocktails, flaunted spa sessions, and lavish dinners. One picture had a group shot with Lily's caption, "Trip without the failure." Everyone was tagged, aunts, cousins, distant relatives, but not me. I read it over and over, hoping it was a misunderstanding, a prank. But it wasn't. They hadn't even tried to hide it. That $8,700 didn't save a house. It funded their beachside getaway and mocking laughter. I sat on the floor, staring at my phone, stunned. Not angry yet, just numb. I replayed their desperate call, the fake urgency, the guilt they piled on, and now this. Failure. It wasn't a joke, it was cruel, intentional. They thought it was hilarious that I'd never find out. I didn't cry or scream, I didn't call them. I sat in silence as something shifted inside me. They believed they'd gotten away with it, that I'd stay quiet like always, brush it off as family stuff. But I was done being the doormat, done letting them trample me. They stole my dream trip, so I decided to take something from them. I waited a day, letting the betrayal sink in, accepting the truth I'd avoided. They weren't just liars, they were users. They'd begged me fake desperation, all for a tropical vacation, then mocked me. That word, failure, showed me exactly how they saw me. So I chose my move, the car. Dad's prized dark blue Honda Accord, barely 2 years old, his obsession. He polished it weekly, bragged about snagging it below market price. Conveniently, I had the spare key from when I'd picked them up at the airport at 3 a.m. last year. They never asked for it back. I confirmed it was in their driveway while they were off snorkeling and posting beach selfies. So I took a bus across town, walked the last few blocks casually, and slipped into the driver's seat like it was mine. Because it was. I didn't just drive it away, I filed for a new title. Uncle Steve, who sees through their nonsense, came with me to the DMV. He said if they reported it stolen, they'd have to swear under oath where they were when I took it. He even chuckled, "Let me know when you're ready to claim the house." 3 days later, they returned. My phone exploded. First, Mom, "Where's the car?" Then Lily, "You didn't actually take Dad's car, did you? What's wrong with you?" Then Dad, "Amy, call me now." I let them stew for hours, wanting them to feel helpless for once. When I finally answered, Mom screamed so loudly I had to pull the phone away. She ranted about theft, betrayal, how could I do this? As if I hadn't just sacrificed my savings to save their home. Dad took over, calmer but manipulative, asking why I was so petty, claiming I'd misunderstood. I cut in, asking how the resort was, if the spa was worth my $8,700, if their drinks tasted better with a side of deceit. Silence. Then I said, "I saw it all. I know you lied. You're lucky I only took the car." And I hung up. Hours later, Lily posted a cryptic Instagram story, black background, white text about toxic family and jealous losers who hate seeing others happy. I saved it and smiled. They still thought they could spin this, rally sympathy, manipulate the narrative. They didn't know I wasn't done. They had secrets, ones I'd ignored because I hoped they'd change. Now I was ready to use them. I didn't respond to their calls or texts. Lily sent voice messages, fake calm, acting confused about my overreaction. Dad texted a long message starting with "We love you," and ending with some excuse about family complexity. Mom called again, leaving a voicemail. "You're hurting us more than you realize." I ignored it all for 2 days, letting their panic grow. The car was real, tangible, a loss they could feel, unlike the money they pretended I never gave. Then I started digging. Old texts, emails, even Mom's Facebook posts from years ago. I compiled everything, every lie, every scam. How they borrowed from cousin Mia, claiming it was for Lily's books, but used it to clear Dad's gambling debt. How they guilted Aunt Sandra into giving up part of Grandpa's inheritance for home repairs, then built a new patio and threw Lily's boyfriend a party. Dozens of examples. I'd stayed silent as the family peacemaker, but now I had every detail, every screenshot, every timestamp. I drafted a post, calm, factual, no drama. Just names, dates, amounts, the truth laid bare. I sent it privately to Mom, Lily, and Dad with a note. "You stole my money, lied, mocked me. Apologize and fix this, or this goes public on Facebook, Reddit, everywhere. Your call." 5 minutes later, Mom called, sobbing real tears this time, terrified. She asked what I wanted. I said I wanted them to admit it publicly on Facebook, where they'd called me a failure. She begged me not to, said it would ruin them, that people wouldn't understand. I said, "I don't care." Lily texted, claiming it was just a joke and I was acting unhinged. I ignored her. Then I contacted Brian, the golden child who never lifts a finger but gets endless praise. I sent him the evidence and said I was done protecting them. He didn't reply, smart move. They were trapped and they knew it. No more fake tears or gaslighting, just fear, the kind they'd made me feel for years. I wasn't done yet. I expected at least a private apology, maybe an attempt to make things right. Instead, they doubled down. In the family group chat, which I usually mute, Mom posted a long message claiming that while they were on a small getaway, I'd snuck onto their property and stolen their car. She called me unstable, paranoid, said they were consulting a lawyer, and ended with, "We love Amy, but this is a cry for help." A cry for help. I laughed, pacing my living room, unable to sit still. They weren't just lying. They were painting me as crazy to justify their actions and turn the family against me. Before I could respond, Uncle Steve jumped in. "Kathy, you sure about lying in a group chat? I've seen the proof, including Lily's failure post." He shared 3 screenshots. The beach photo with everyone tagged except me, the trip without the failure caption, and my $8,700 bank transfer. Dead silence for 5 minutes. Then Aunt Mia wrote, "Is that what happened to my $3,000? You said it was for Lily's tuition." Aunt Sandra added, "They did the same with Grandpa's inheritance, claiming home repairs. They got a new grill and threw a party." Cousin Jenna, usually silent, said, "They told me last year their mortgage was paid off. I asked for a loan in May and they said they were broke." The chat exploded, relatives connecting dots, stories aligning. Lily left the group without a word. Mom posted a weak follow-up. "We didn't mean to upset anyone. This is a misunderstanding. We'll sort it out with Amy privately." Too late, the truth was out. My inbox flooded with messages from cousins, aunts, even distant relatives. Daniel, a cousin, said he'd always sensed they treated me unfairly. Another recalled them calling me selfish for not funding Lily's 2021 Florida trip, which they claimed was for her mental health, but was really a vacation with her boyfriend. Then Brian messaged me directly. "They said you chose to give the money, that you canceled Hawaii because you didn't want to travel. I didn't know." I asked if he believed me now. He replied, "Yeah. I'm sorry." For once, the golden child wasn't defending them. I had them cornered and I hadn't even gone public yet. I waited a week, letting their allies fade and the family chat go silent. They offered no apology, just silence, the kind that stings worse than insults. They hoped I'd let it go, as I always had. But this time I wanted war. I gave them one last chance, posting in the family chat. "You had a week to own up. You chose silence. I won't." No one responded, not even Brian, so I posted everything publicly, not vague, not anonymous, but detailed. Screenshots, dates, side-by-side photos of their resort vacation and my bank transfer. I recounted the desperate call, the loser caption, how I gave up Hawaii to save their house, only for them to mock me. I included their other lies, to Mir about tuition, to Sandra about repairs, to Jenna about their finances. Just facts, no embellishment. I hit post. Within 15 minutes, shares and comments poured in. Messages from coworkers, old friends, relatives. Some apologized for believing my family's lies, others shared similar stories. Comments turned vicious. Imagine stealing from your sister and bragging about it. A cousin's friend wrote, "This family's like a cheap con, cut them off." I stayed silent, watching the post spread. Lily deleted her accounts entirely. Mom went private. Dad stopped posting his usual memes. Brian called 3 times. I answered on the 3rd. "You went full scorched earth," he said. I stayed quiet. He said Mom hadn't eaten, Dad wanted to sue but had no grounds, and Grandma was demanding answers. Then he admitted, "They're not sorry, they think you're dramatic." I asked if he knew about the Hawaii money. He said they told him I'd donated it willingly, claiming I'd outgrown travel. We laughed, but it wasn't normal between us. I told him I sold the car for $10,000, netting $1,500 after fees. He said, "Good, you earned it." Then he hung up. That night, Mom sent a long, non-apologetic message about how I'd humiliated them, misunderstood their intentions. No sorry. I left it on read, saved it, and blocked them one by one except Brian. Blocking wasn't punishment. It was freedom from their lies, guilt trips, and gaslighting. I didn't need their voices anymore. But they couldn't stay quiet. 3 days later, Brian showed up after texting, "In the area. Got time." He looked exhausted, coffee in hand. He said the family was rattled. Lily hadn't left her room. Dad faced workplace drama over the loser photo. Mom avoided church. Then he got to the point. They wanted the car money back for closure and trust. I asked if they admitted their lies. He said, "No, they think it's not a big deal." That's when I knew they weren't sorry, just scared of me. I told him the car was compensation, the post was restraint. I reminded him they'd lied to everyone. He didn't argue, just sat there, lost. Then I told him about my notebook. Years of documented lies, scams, guilt trips, all scanned and backed up. If they came after me, legally, publicly, financially, I'd release it all online. He nodded, "I believe you." Before leaving, he said, "They're scared of you now." That was the point. I sold the car that weekend for $10,000, pocketing $1,500 profit. It went into a new travel fund. Not just Hawaii, but better, nicer Airbnb direct flights, a volcano tour. I booked it that day, leaving in October, alone, no posts, no announcements. The silence feels good now, peaceful, not painful. They tried to break me, gaslight me, make me the fool. Now they're the ones hiding, dodging questions, losing allies. I don't feel guilt or pity. They used me, mocked me, laughed behind my back. Now my name haunts them. Every time someone asks about the car, mentions the post, or cuts them off. I'm not the failure. I was their way out, and they lost the best thing they had. Update * weeks later, I leave for Hawaii in October, and the Countdown app makes me smile daily. No word from my parents. Lily's vanished from social media, Dad's account is empty, Mom's locked down. Yesterday, a handwritten letter arrived from Grandma, who stays out of drama. In neat cursive, she wrote, "I saw everything. I'm sorry you carried this alone. I understand now. No sides, no guilt, just support." She ended, "You deserve your trip and peace even if it's without us." I tucked it into my travel journal. She gets it, and that's enough.